What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God.
I'm already eating a drink. Look a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. Hello, hi there, people. How is everyone? Hello. It's so glad to see you. So glad. I'm just so glad to see you all. So glad to be here and say hi and reintroduce myself. Allow me a chance to reintroduce myself. I'm El Teddy, 27. Hello, everyone. I have missed you as much as you have missed me. Hello to everyone in the chat, mods, members, everyone. Hello. I'm glad to be here to partake it in alive with you today. Um, just to bring you some of me again. I know I missed you, I missed us, and now we're back and we are here. So yeah, let's have a good time today, do what we do, and have a little fun at it and everything. Um, hey to everybody as you all come in. You know who you are. Certainly my mods and members. Shondos across the board. Shondos. Let's flip the chat with Shondos because we are back and we are here and we're gonna just do what we do. I have to I had to go away for a little bit, but I am back and sometimes you gotta go away to give people an opportunity, as they say, to miss you. That's not for y'all, but sometimes people miss you too much and they forget, hey lady Steph, that they forget, who you are, your name kind of goes unmentioned and unnoticed. And so that's why I said, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm El Teddy, 27. Um, gatherers of all those gatherer of all those that, need to be gathered. Slayer of dragons, first of my names. Oh man. Um, but yes, y'all, I am back. We're here. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to go through some stuff, unpack some stuff. I'll let y'all talk to me and get some stuff off y'all chest and everything and stuff like that. So yeah. Have y'all missed me? I missed y'all. Did y'all miss me? Like I really missed y'all. And I'm so glad that to be back and say hi to y'all and talk to y'all and let y'all see me and me see y'all, all of that good stuff. Anyway, so what's been going on since I have left? What has been going on since I left? Let me say hey to y'all as y'all come in. Where y'all at? Hey, Nappy Child, Lady Steph, Lastasia, MVN, Abby, Really B, Quintessential, uh, January Capricorn, love that name, love that name. Kelly Hans, Lil Baby, hey Lil Baby, hey Volvo. Um, oh, V to the O. Yes, Volvo. Allow me a chance to reintroduce myself. I'm El Teddy, 27. I am Miss Nothing Abby. Y'all know, even though I haven't been on, um, I have been watching. I'm good, Kelly Hans. I'm good. I'll talk more about stuff that's been going on while I've been going on a members only live. We'll do that during members only. We'll talk then. Um, but I've been still, combing through Al Gore's good internet. Since we're gonna talk about the things that I've seen on Al Gore's good internet, let me find something to drink so that I can lubricate my throat. Hold on, y'all. Some good throat lubrication. Hold on a second. little bit of snacks. All right. All right. I think we got what we need to properly lubricate ourselves. Okay. So, what am I snacking on? Some more Planters cheese balls. Gotta have balls in your mouth. Some Lifesaver gummies that I was eating earlier. And some Gatorade. What flavor is this? Strawberry kiwi. Gatorade Zero Strawberry Kiwi. That's what we're snacking on today. So, speaking of strolling through Al Gore's good internet and balls in your mouth. So, first, let's just jump right into the deep end. Why start on the shallow end? I've never been a shallow end type person. That's how I learned how to swim. Shouts out to those of us who, when you first went to summer camp and was like 5 or 6 years old, and they were teaching you how to swim, the first thing they did was throw you in the 20-foot deep pool that they used to dive in and said, "Oh, go swim." And you drowned for like 2 or 3 minutes before somebody came and saved you. A mess. Anyway, um, so I have seen no less than 1400 1435 silhouette challenges. Shouts out to whoever came up with the silhouette challenge. I just feel like you need a Nobel Peace Prize. Like, that's who really needs it. We'll talk about Nobel Peace Prizes in a little bit. But shouts out to whomever it is that came up with the silhouette challenge. You deserve a Nobel Peace Prize because you, my friend, have ceremoniously kept a lot of us in a good mood over this past week. If you have not seen the silhouette challenge on Twitter and TikTok, I know Ebby's seen it because I promise you she's got to be a TikTok administrator over there by now. She's an administrator over there down to the TikTok. But the amount, listen, I have seen more phalluses in this TikTok challenge. Not TikTok challenge, silhouette challenge on Twitter and TikTok. Have y'all seen the people just displaying all part? Child. We got meat, and more meat all over Al Gore's good internet. Hit me up if you need to see them because I got a whole lot of them. For educational purposes, I, saved the link to a lot of them for educational purposes. I'm just saying, we might do that in the members only live. I'll just put the links out there in the members only live. Oh dear God is right. Because baby, mind you, people are still doing them, like just starting to do them. Like I started seeing them maybe a week ago. Hey Tanya. I saw Marshall Price yesterday. And if you don't know who Marshall Price is, and he whipped that thing out. I said, oh dear. I was like, oh, that looks like it'll hurt. Y'all got a lot going on. He has a lot going on. Baby, they got people young and old doing it. I was like, now you got some people doing it, and I'm like, you should have kept that. Like I saw Sean T did one. You know Sean T, the fitness expert. I was like, Sean, Sean, girl, Sean. You could have kept that, honey. You could have kept that, honey, as mother would say. But I saw Sean. He didn't even take off his clothes. I mean, I didn't expect him to. We've already seen what he's working with. That's already been all over Al Gore's good internet. But I feel like at this point, it's like having an OnlyFans and not showing anything. Doing a silhouette challenge and not showing anything at this point kind of defeats the purpose. But I'm gonna let people have that. And since we're talking about OnlyFans, meat all over the place, so Trey Songz meat has been all over Al Gore's good internet. I think I got it. I saw it on my Twitter timeline. Must have been Monday. I know. I think I saw it Sunday or it was the Sunday or Monday when I first saw it. Because what'll happen is the dark side of Al Gore's good internet. When a lot of these oh, I'm almost choking on my lifesaver. When a lot of these celebrity picking pics come out, some of the channels that are more reputable, what they'll do is they'll put it out there as like a DM to us, to some people. Now I got a couple of them that'll DM me and say, "Have you seen this?" before they just put it out on their thing. And what they do is that gives them a chance to vet it and see, oh, is that really this person? Like match up tattoos, body angles, body parts, impressions in the body, the muscles and stuff like that. So I got it on Sunday, and at first I was kind of skeptical because you could only see like the midsection. But then when I looked at the arm, you gotta look with the close view. Y'all know I don't miss much. And I saw the arm tattoo. I said, wait a minute, that matches up. And so once there was confirmation, I saw most people started tweeting it out on Monday, I believe it was. And then it kind of exploded Tuesday, and it's been out of control since. What's good, August? What's good? August, is your meat gonna be all over Al Gore's good internet too? Since we talking about Trey Songz meat, are we gonna get to see the hook that became infamous on my live, sir? Sir, that I was expecting to see in my DMs, but never got to see in my DMs, sir. Sir, are you gonna do the silhouette challenge? August, inquiring minds want to know. I'm just saying. Anyway, so I'll let August answer. Hey, Cams. So people over the years, ever since he came out with the braids, had been speculating what he was working with and what was going on. I'm really surprised it took this long. Child, Tumblr day. I missed the Tumblr days, August. Wasn't the Tumblr days so good? I was so mad they took Tumblr down. God, I used to get my life on Tumblr. Oh, Tumblr was everything. Listen, let me tell you guys something. Tumblr was everything. Anyway, back to what I was saying. But what Tumblr got to do with my DMs, August? Just catch me in my DMs. We could discuss. We could exchange some stuff and talk about some stuff. Down to the DMs. I'll hit you up with a DM. Child, I used to be on that heavy too, child. I used to be at work trying to, child. Ooh, child. Well, what happened was, Lil Baby, the peen pics that were of him before were confirmed by people, but there wasn't any confirmatory things about it that made there was a photoshopped one that we found out wasn't his, and then there was one that we kind of confirmed was his, but there wasn't anything solid or concrete about it that people could definitively say, yeah, that's him. And he never came out and said, oh, that's me or anything. So it kind of just, went away. But this one has been confirmed. He's even confirmed it. So, yeah. Anyway, people have been speculating about what he was working with, and like I said, I'm surprised it ain't been out there sooner. I mean, hell, we done seen so many people. I thought shortly thereafter, Christopher and Omarion's came out, that his would be out soon, because the skanks do not like to be outdone. The groupies and skanks do not like to be outdone. Thoughts are just as competitive as the rest of us. So when a good skank and thought releases a peen pick, the other thoughts and skanks be like, oh girl, I ain't gonna let you outdo me. You don't believe that shit. And so they go to outdo each other, and it's a win for all of us. All of us win when these things happen. Yeah, he is in that skank circle. So I just imagined that it would have came out much sooner. But now if we're looking at and judging the peen, I think people are putting a whole lot more into it than they should. You gotta understand that it was at a good angle and it was really up close. So I think that in order for me to put him in the break your back, pop your cervix club, more research is needed. More information needs to be gathered before we put him in that committee. I'm just saying. It was nice looking. It was. I'm not going to say it wasn't. However, we ain't calling him Long Dong Silver yet. A bit more information needs to be gathered about that. Anyway, shouts out to August who was in the chat. They're supposed to come back. Real Hot Boys of Houston. They're making their triumphant return. I believe Saturday, maybe. Wait, what's today? Yeah, I think it's Saturday. I'm sure August will be out here clowning the people like he always do, and then you'll have Ashton in the confessionals reading the people like he always do. We'll talk about that later. Exactly, no baby. More data samples are needed. More data samples. Now, wait, what pic still August, I'm gonna hit you up in DM because I want to know what pictures still circulate. I think you mean circulating. Anyway, what else happened while I was gone? I don't know. Like I really was off the grid a lot. I'm trying to think what else major happened while I was gone that I wanted to talk about. Nothing. It's been pretty dry in terms of news. We moved in. It is Black History Month. Gonna do something. Gonna make a video or something at some point this month. Celebrating Black History Month. Going to celebrate people who should be remembered. Speaking of Black History Month, let me get a little political. So, some friends of mine and I were discussing the nomination of Madam Stacey Abrams for the Nobel Peace Prize. And let me bring this down a little bit. It was a very interesting discussion. If you did not know, Stacey Abrams was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, let me say this. How much can we put into the nominations? Jared Kushner, oh, excuse me, I'm just talking with stuff in the mouth. Jared Kushner was nominated. Is Trey Songz still making music? I guess if that's what you want to call it. Nobody's listening. I mean, it's just like they say, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear, did it really fall? So if somebody's making music and nobody's listening, are they really making music? Does anybody know? I mean, put him with Jussie Smollett and get somebody else, and y'all have the three Billy Goats Gruff. That'll be a great group. Who would be the third member of that group, the three Billy Goats Gruff? We got lead singer Trey Songz. Next to him is the Kelly of the group. Would be because Trey Songz give me that he's gonna be Diana or Beyonce. He's taking a backseat. Nobody. Jussie would be the number two singer. Who would be the third member of the three Billy Goats Gruff group? I don't know. Y'all give me some suggestions. Who we would have? What it got to be a guy. It got to be a guy that has that same, uncontrollable vibrato that sounds like a nanny goat. Well, see, that's the thing, little baby. Let me go back to my politics as y'all give me nominations. In order to be nominated, the nominations generally come from the House of Parliament in what is that? Switzerland? Is it Switzerland? I think it's Switzerland. I probably should have looked that up, huh? I believe it's Switzerland. But the nominations come from members of the House of Parliament in that nation, and they nominate people, and Bryson Tiller might work. You say Jussie Smollett is definitely the Michelle. Lil Wayne with the rap hook. I'm not doing this with you. Oh, it's Norway. Thank you, MVN. See, I knew it was somewhere up in Scandinavia. Somewhere up in Scandinavia, Switzerland, Norway, Finland, up there where it's cold, the Vikings and the Nordic people and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm surprised Lil B, not Lil B, Really B. Why can't I say this woman name? Really B a jump out the bushes and correct me. I expect her to correct me on these things. Anyway, they members of their House of Parliament of as we said, Norway, they would nominate. Now, Donald Trump has been nominated twice during his presidency. So that tells you how far-reaching these nominations are. Hey, Ashton, we said Ashton earlier, and Hope pops out of the bushes. Ashton, how are you, Ashton? I was saying that your, show is coming back, I believe, Saturday, and that you would be back to your usual antics of reading the people down in your confessionals, dear God. We'll be here to review it and comment on it. Well, it's not really paid for a nomination, Franje. That's not how it happens. What happens is you have these members of the parliament there. They make these nominations in varying fields, not just peace, but it's in a myriad of different fields and stuff like that. And it's just basically somebody saying, "Oh, I like this person," or I align myself with what this person is doing, and then they make a nomination. That doesn't mean necessarily that that person will win. Um, I don't know that the Nobel Peace Prize laureate is what it was in the past for good and bad reasons. Okay, y'all will be back on Saturday. Okay, I'll be taking notes. I will be taking notes. Um, and for good and bad reasons, because um some of the good reasons is it's just more diverse in what we deem as laudable accolades and things like that. It's kind of like with acting and music. First, I feel like my favorite actor doesn't have to ever win an Oscar to be validated for me. That doesn't mean that they're not one of the greatest actors or actresses to walk the face of the earth because they don't win an Oscar. An Oscar is the Western civilization, white media, people descended from the Caucasus Mountains deciding that they get to dictate what is and is not good. And that's just not the standard. They are not the end all be all and the standard of excellence across the globe, although they would like to think that they are. And so, so that's some of the reasons why it's a good thing that a Nobel Prize is not as good as it used to be. Some of the bad reasons is some of the people who should win don't all of the times get the media notoriety or aren't as well known around the world, so they go forgotten. So I guess that's both a good and a bad. Um, Trump was nominated twice for his clownery and buffoonery. Fucking mess. So, but the conversation that we had, because we were talking about Stacey, they nominated her because they said for her voter registration and so forth in Georgia and things like that. Now, let me say this. The media, and I can't fault them totally, but I have to have they have to take some amount of responsibility for what they put out there, knowing that a lot of people are going to be lazy and not look up stuff on their own. The media often finds one individual that they want to focus on and highlight on, and then that becomes the only person that they want to tell the American population is doing anything. And that's what happened with Stacey. Now, Stacey Abrams will even tell you her biggest work is not in voting, registering votes. Her biggest work is in stopping voter suppression and protecting people and their rights to vote. That is what she did a lot of. There were many other organizations in Georgia, in South Carolina, in many other states, and there's countless numbers of names of people and organizations that are and were responsible for the registering of votes and things like that. But it's kind of like what we're talking about with Black History Month, where mainstream media wants to focus on about 5 key people. Even if we take Martin King had so many people going on during that time that were the agents by which change happened and the conduits by which change happened, and they oftentimes get swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about these people. And like we doing a lot of movies and biopic. Can I get a Fannie Lou Hamer? Can I get one of those? You know why they don't want to do a Fannie Lou Hamer? Because um what the Democratic Party, wait, was that the Democratic Party? Yes, that was the Democratic Party, not the DNC. Doesn't want you to, or was that the RNC? Really B will correct me. My brain is all over the place today. But if you remember one of her famous speeches that she did on the floor at the I believe it was the DNC, at the Democratic National Convention, and she castigated them, went off. And if you remember, um her speech, thank you, it was the DNC, her speech was cut off because the president of the United States decided that he was going to ceremoniously decide that he was going to have a speech, which meant that all of the country then took their eyes off of what she was saying and then put their eyes on the president. Oh yes. See, can we have a discussion about how she was done wrong? Can we have a discussion, a real discussion about even people going back to the Harlem Renaissance and the countless numbers of people that were fighting for um just and people will undermine the um this whole genre or group, but think about how important the Harlem Renaissance was to this country, because I really believe had it not been a Harlem Renaissance, the civil rights movement would not have happened. And what the Harlem Renaissance did was it forced the American public to ingratiate itself with Black culture in the form of the arts. Hey Joshua, hey Miguel, in the forms of music and poetry and writing and artwork and sculpture. There were so things like, and it wasn't just going on in Harlem. You had the same thing going on with the arts with Black people in cities like Chicago, in cities like Philadelphia, and a lot of those northern cities at that time, even though they mainly highlight on Harlem. But had that not happened, and had we not had this infusion of what it meant to be a Black person in America, and this infusion of Black culture, meaning the music, the singing, the art, the poetry, the writings, had that not happened, there would have been no civil rights era. And um I say that because you had to have Black people start to be a part of the conversation. We had to go through moments where white people, even though they had been doing it since we were brought over here in 1619, but it became much more obvious of these, the appropriation of the Black culture, or the misappropriation of Black music, Black literature, Black art, and Black culture. And you saw what was embedded into the fabric of the culture of being America, Black culture, which legitimized more so us as a people and what we meant to and for this nation, even if that wasn't already evidently clear by the fact that we actually built this illegitimate nation from the beginning. I'm sorry, I had a little red there. Sorry, let me eat my gummy. It really was. And I'm gonna say this, and this is not gonna be popular. Probably is now, but it was during the Harlem Renaissance where, for both men and women, there wasn't as much frowning about people and their orientations and sexuality. We know a lot of times in the arts there is this mixing and fluidity with regard to orientation and sexuality and things like that. So many of the greats in that era were very fluid sexually, very, and were unapologetic about it. And you then see after that where there's this hardening of lines and being told you can't do this, or no, you can't be like that, or we're not going to tell you about this part, that part of this person's life. Um, a lot of times, even when they tell the story of people, they refuse to give you that part, act as if it did not happen, and it was not there, and it was very much a part of who they were. Um, and that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. I mean, but I say this again, there were so many people. I mean, back to this subject at hand, we were talking about Stacey Abrams, and now don't get it twisted. We rooting for everybody black. We rooting for Stacey, like we rooting for everybody. Listen, I'm rooting for everybody black, okay? And we definitely think she should be lauded for her accomplishments and things like that. But I think that if y'all really were on top of y'all game, um, Nobel Committee Prize Committee people, House of Parliament over there down to the Norway, um, y'all should have did that. That nomination for her should have came first of all in the right area, which was stopping voter suppression, and two, that should have been like what 2-3 years ago, maybe. Hello, like 2-3 years ago. But better late than never, I guess. I mean, they gave Gandhi a Nobel Prize, and Gandhi is recorded as a very racist individual. You know, they try and loud Gandhi like he was one of the greatest people on earth, and Gandhi was very racist. Gandhi had some very racist things to say about the Africans over and black people over in South Africa, excuse me, and what they were going through with apartheid. Gandhi, the way Gandhi would talk about Africans and black people, calling them the N words all the time, and wanted no parts of anything dealing with that. Even there was even the infamous Martin Luther King Gandhi connection. There was a lot of behind the scenes that went on with that. There was a lot of we're going to do this because it's a good look thing, you know, in the public eye. But there was not, I might agree with some of your philosophies, but I don't agree with you. There was more of that, and there was more of a coalescing by both of them for the purpose of the optics. Mm-hmm. He sure did. He sure did. Mind you, Gandhi wasn't that light himself. There's a lot of times you have people who are self-soilers and who hate each other, but that's a whole nother story. We just leave that at that, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, definitely shouts out to Stacey Abrams. But my point was, especially now during Black History Month, we don't want to forget people whose stories have not been told, people who we haven't seen a lot about or heard a lot about. When I do Silly Saturday on Saturday, my Silly Saturdays for this month will involve um Black history stuff. So not exclusively, but we will have segments during Silly Saturdays where we focus on Black history. So I will do that during that time. Other political news, your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's been she's been a nutcase for a long time. That's one of the part of the reasons that Kelly Loeffler lost in Georgia, because she was trying to make herself even more right than Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia. and she's been a piece of work for a long. She ain't just got this way. She has horrible comments going all the way back to Sandy Hook. Like she ain't just, and so that's why a lot of times when you see the Republicans and things like that, talking about now, and even the Democrats, to a certain degree, not all of a sudden y'all got a problem with her. She has been who she's been this whole time. She is not hitting her hand. She has not said, "Oh, that wasn't me." No, she's been right there in the public. So, child Bobby Valentino gets caught every weekend with another trans woman. I mean, let that man live. Bobby Valentino, we know who you are. Live your life and be comfortable. Girl, if you like chicks with dicks, go ahead. Ain't no problem with that. There's a whole market out there for that. Child, they say the trans girls had the biggest stuff anyway, child. Anyway, if you like it, I love it. If it's good for you, it's great for me. Ain't nothing wrong with this. It's 2021. You still living, child. Bobby, you ain't making no music. Nobody's looking for you in pop culture. Nobody's looking for your music. Nobody's looking for your album. Nobody's looking for you on social media. Nobody's looking for you at all. So you have the freedom to be out here living your best life if you want to, with reckless abandon. Nobody's looking for you. Nobody. Even probably the trans girls that you looking for ain't looking for you. Girl, going on. Girl, going on. Because you give me a bust down Becky anyway, because you know his meat pictures surfaced years ago and his little bitty twig and berries. Girl, you get your back blown out with titties hitting your back. Okay? Girl, you get your back blown out while simultaneous having somebody titties hitting your back. A mess. Anyway, hey Miss Baythang. Back to what we were saying about backs blown out and Marjorie Taylor Greene. God. They are supposed to be voting in the House today whether or not to remove her, have her removed from all of her committees, which is a method of kind of censuring her. Now, the pushback from the Republican Party is, and you got to always understand that there's always, the pendulum always shifts, okay? Yeah, that's bust down Becky, honey. Child. You missed that whole thing, Joshua. We talked about that earlier when we talked about the silhouette challenge. You missed all of that. But while the Dems want to do this, my thing about it is Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, and those of you over there in leadership down to the donkey branch of the House of Representatives, she's going to go down as a scapegoat, which she should. Which she should. But she ain't the only one. There are dozens, and I do mean dozens, of her Republican colleagues who share all of her same sentiments, who share all of her same allegiances, who share all of her same alliances. Those are the people who should also be in the same boat as she is, but y'all are not going to do that. Hey, Monk Chip. Hey, boo. Hey, good to see you. She's listen. She has been drudged up from the bottom of the Republican Party swamp. Okay, and she is a cellar dweller and bottom feeder. But she's not the only Yahoo sitting up there in the House of Representatives. It's a whole lot of others of them that share and her same sentiments and are worse. There are members of the House that are worse. And Kevin McCarthy, need not come over here as if he's all pious and things like that. And listen, listen. Republican Party right now is at a state of civil war. Okay, let me tell y'all that they are at a state of civil war. The Dems got one coming too. They just trying to ignore, but the Dems got a come to Jesus moment coming to them as well too, and it's probably gonna come sooner than later. We'll get there in a second. The problem with the Republican Party is this: y'all have a Liz Cheney who's number 3 in the House right now, right? Who voted to impeach your former president. Now, Liz Cheney, who is not gonna, I'm not applauding you, Liz Cheney. I'm not going to give you any kudos to Liz Cheney for what you did, because you rubber stamped and celebrated the buffoonery coming from 1600 Pennsylvania Boulevard for 4 long years and had nothing to say. And you aligned yourself with this idiot and asshole who did nothing but gaslight white supremacists, who did nothing but foster and proliferate domestic terrorism in these yet to be United States of America. So don't look at me to give you no kind of kudos, Liz Cheney, and I don't feel bad for you at all. I don't feel bad for you at all. If they would have kicked Liz Cheney out and told her she couldn't be in Republican leadership, I would not have felt bad for her at all. But you have those people, the Liz Cheneys of the world, and what's the guy, Kinzinger? I can't think of his name, out of Illinois, who's another one of those young congressmen, but he says that he's trying to take back the Republican Party to what it is. He's out of Illinois, Kinzinger. I can't think of his first name. I saw his little ad or whatever. So my thing about it is this: y'all got those people, and then you got all of those far right, way out there people like the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world. Please understand, Kevin McCarthy is much closer to Marjorie Taylor Greene than he is the Kinzinger guy, the people that are more in the center. Y'all forgot this man was just down there partying with Trump last week, kissing the ring. Kevin McCarthy, minority leader of the Republican Party in the House of Representatives. So they got to figure it out what they're going to do, because at this rate, Republican Party, y'all are going to have a problem retaking Congress in 2022. Y'all got to make a decision. Y'all got to decide if y'all going to be the party of Trump or not. Now, regardless as to whether or not they are the party of Trump, that doesn't mean that that's going to alleviate them. Thank you, Adam Kinzinger. That doesn't mean that that's going to relieve them of those social and political pariahs that they have embedded inside of their political party. So they're supposed to be voting in the House today to see whether or not to remove her from her committees. Y'all got a whole lot more people that y'all should be voting on Nancy Pelosi. Like, y'all got a whole lot more other people, okay? Now, please understand, too, that the Republican Party are here for the shits. They're here for the smoke. They are here for everything that y'all want to do. This is what the Republican Party is going to say. Oh, that's what you're going to do? Please understand you ain't going to always be in power. And as soon as they get in power, guess who's going to be the first ones? Because they ain't going to do like you did and just get one. They're going to take the whole squad down. They're going to take the whole squad. They're going to have the whole squad on the list of people who they're going to vote to remove from their committees. And where does it end? It's because that's what's going to happen. You know, Representative Omar, AOC. What's my black girl name? Who be with them? I can't think of. I can never remember this lady name. Cori Bush gonna be on there. You know they're gonna have a whole list of progressive Democrats that they're gonna be ready to say, "Oh, y'all did it to us. We can do it to you." Watch. You know this is how they roll. This is how they don't play fair. A mess. It's gonna be a mess. It's going to be a mess. A mess. But the legislative branch has been a mess for upwards of 30 to 40 years now. So what do we expect? What do we expect? What do you mean, Marty, in 2017? Explain. But Marty, they've been a mess for a while. They've been a mess for a while. The thing about it is the House, the Senate made gains. Let's be clear, made gains. But the House lost seats. The Dems lost seats in the House. They have a very narrow well, before 2017, remember the major bulldozing happened in 2010. Remember, it was the bloodbath, the sea of red that rushed through the House of Representatives in 2010. That was that first bloodbath with the Tea Party and all of that. It was a bloodbath for the Democratic Party. It was a whole mess. And then what was that, 2014, when they lost the Senate and Harry Reid went from being majority leader to minority leader. Y'all notice how much Harry Reid is aged since he got out of office? I mean, he went from looking old, but like he could, was still functionally old. Now looking like he's knocking at death's door. He looked real old. Child, real old. Anyway, on the Dem side, they lost a lot of seats in the House. And I keep saying that the Democratic Party continuing to try to be beholden to the old guard and the more centrist part of their party is not going to help them as much. The voting bloc is getting younger, and the younger voters are not here for the old, that old guard. They're not here for some of those old ideologies and things like that. They are more progressive. They are leaning more further to the left, just like on the Republican side. Now, if they're being honest with themselves on the Republican side, their party and the people in their base are leaning more toward the right and are leaning more toward those social and political pariahs out there that's just way out there dangling to the far right. And so you're about to see, just like I talked about in the Republican Party, how you're having this almost civil war within the Republican Party about who they're going to be and the identity of the Republican Party. The Dems are going to have to come to grips with that as well, because you got members of the Democratic Party right now, the progressives, that have said, listen, we're not here to just rubber stamp whatever y'all want to push through. It's not going to happen. And I know the Squad and a couple other members of the progressive caucus down there to the House of Representatives are supposed to be having a meeting with Joe Biden this week to talk about things that they want to see in terms of legislation, but also in some of the in the COVID recovery bill and things like that, and things that they are very unyielding about. And the fact, and if the Dems think that because they have the numbers that people are gonna just go lockstep with them, Dems have proved that going back decades and decades Dems always, it's always a couple Dems that always find a way to say, well, I don't care, I'm not doing that. And where the Republican Party, they are more inclined, even the ones who kind of act as if they're more progressive as a Republican or more centrist as a Republican, even those ones, the Susan Murkowskis of the world and uh, um the Murkowski and Collinses of the world and stuff like that, who try to act like they're more centrist, they even go lockstep with Republican, how everybody else goes. Where the Dems, they don't always do that. They be like, you're right, the Mitt Romneys and stuff like that. They be like, I don't see it. Look at Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin has already told y'all, I'm not here for the fuck shit. I said this, what was that, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Joe Manchin is about to be a thorn in the Democrat side. And he is a Democrat because he knows he's out of West Virginia. And West Virginia is a red state. And so his alignment has to be one that, although it may be Democratic, it has to give the look or facade of it being right leaning. And I really feel like if left to himself, he probably wants to be over there in the Republican Party, if I'm just really being honest about Joe Manchin. But that's just me looking at how I feel. Right. There were Republicans that left for both when the Tea Party came and Trump came, but I would venture to tell you the ones that left, there are more people who came because they aligned themselves with those racist ideologies. Okay. Hey, Sims Overdose. Like Joe Manchin, listen, I guarantee you, Joe Manchin probably meets with, sit downs with, and has more after hours hangouts with Republicans than he ever does Dems. Let's be clear. Joe Manchin looks like he got a brother named Jedediah and a cousin that's sitting in West Virginia playing a banjo on his porch with a little with a little, container with 3 X's on the front that he drinks out of. That's what Joe Manchin gives me. But that's gonna be, hey Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I don't even think I said hey to you. That's gonna be a whole mess. So I think that, and we talked about this within the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party needs to understand, especially in the House, that while that old guard, the more centrist Democrats have the numbers now, as you can see, the squad came on after the 2020 election. So the squad came, I'm sorry, not 2018 election, okay? So the squad officially came in 2019. And the squad had a lot of other people who saw their success, and in terms of people who wanted to run for Congress, as well as voting blocks and voters that saw what they were doing, and the fact that they were progressive, and the fact that they were not just here for the same old, same old. They really wanted to do some things that would change and help the people. So what that means is that voting block is going to start to enlarge itself, which means that there's going to end up being a larger number is coming. It is coming. There's going to be a larger number of progressives in the Democratic Party. And if they don't start to prepare for that, there's going to be a problem, just like they have a problem in the Republican Party. Because if the Republican Party did not see this coming, when they aligned themselves with Donald Trump, they had to know once, I'm going to say, even if they, if they were just being stupid, blind, deaf, and dumb, and did not know that he was going to be who he was until after he got in the seat. Shortly after getting the presidency, and you saw some of his buffoonery, people in positions of power in the Republican Party should have said, "Yeah, he's not going to be in here but one term." You had to know that. You had to know that, and you had to start making preparations for him being out of office and where you're going to go, and are you still going to let him run your party? They're not doing that. And the same thing with the Dems. Right now, at the top of the Democratic Party, you have Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer, who combined have an age of 486 years, okay? Between the three of them. That's 486 years old. If you all as a Democratic Party don't start to align yourself and make yourself valuable in terms of moving forward to voting blocks, you're going to have a problem. Now, I know they got Jamie Harrison, who lost the senatorial seat down there in South Carolina to Lindsey Graham. They Joe Biden put him as the head of the DNC. Let me say this. I don't have a problem with Jamie Harrison being there. I have no problem with that. I told you I'm rooting for everybody black. I don't have a problem with Jamie Harrison. My problem is the fact that they still are holding on to this old archaic rule that says if the Dems have the executive branch, then the president gets to just select who they want as the head of the Democratic Party instead of there being a vote amongst within the Democratic Party. My problem with Joe Biden picking this is Joe Biden is still a centrist guy. And while Joe Biden may be, here's where I go down the rabbit hole. So here we are. Let's go. While Joe Biden may be trying to put this cloak up of diversity, let's be clear. He's still very centrist in his thinking. He's still very centrist in his alignment. And Jamie Harrison, while I love Jamie Harrison to death, Jamie Harrison is more centrist than he is progressive. Now, I'm not saying that you got to have somebody way out there dangling off the left pendulum. But remember, Jamie Harrison comes from a state like South Carolina. And the only way that Jamie Harrison was able to get as much ground in South Carolina as he wanted is because he was centrist. Because South Carolina was not going to have any parts of anybody way left or progressive at all. So he aligned himself with Representative Clyburn. And Representative Clyburn is a part of that old guard, that old regime. And so Jamie Harrison, naturally, his line of thinking is going to be with the old guard and the old regime. Same thing about my frat brother, Hakeem Jeffries. Love him to death. But Hakeem Jeffries, even though he's younger, he's attached himself to that old guard, which means that his line of thinking is going to be more with that old guard, and that's not giving way to where the Democratic Party is trending. The Democratic Party is not trending toward that center anymore. They are trending more left, more toward the progressives. And if you don't find a way to meet the needs of the progressives, you're going to lose them. And you're going to lose them to the independent party or to some other third party. There have been inclinations and, for decades now, there'll be a viable third party one day. We are getting closer to the point where there probably will be it coming out of the Republican Party because they can't get their lives together over there, or be it coming out of the Democratic Party because the progressive says, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Well, technically, Sims overdosed. Bernie Sanders can't be the balls of the Democratic Party because he's not a part of the Democratic Party. He just magically puts on the cloak of being a Democrat for the purpose of running for president, and the Democrats keep letting him, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. but he will tell you point blank, I'm not a Democrat. He's not a part of the Democratic Party. So I I don't know. I don't know. He's the only one that's ready to give the middle finger to the Republicans. Joe wants to be bipartisan president. I don't have a problem with you wanting to be a bipartisan president. My problem is you are trying to play nice with people who don't play nicely. You're trying to follow rules in a game against rule breakers. It doesn't make sense. And so, like I said, he's gonna, even with this COVID-19 bill, they're far apart on negotiations with regard to what they're willing to compromise on and the dollar amounts and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, even with him being bipartisan, before you can even decide to be bipartisan, you got to make sure that you've gotten everybody in line in your own party. And that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the squad and the rest of the progressives over there that are saying, listen, we are not just going to blindly rubber stamp anything y'all fart out over there down the 1600 Pennsylvania Boulevard or from the Speaker of the House's desk. We have issues that we are concerned with and that we want to get past. And if you all cannot meet our needs, then we are not going to fall in line. So, and so Joe, it's just not going to happen. People automatically thought, okay, now watch this. Now the people did what they did. The American people did what they were supposed to do. Our job was to go out there and vote. We did that. You asked us to do it. We did that. We gave you the House. We gave you the Senate and the presidency. Now, if these yahoos who are career politicians cannot find a way to politic and do the things that they need to do to get things done, that's on them. Then that they are a failed politician. They're not. It would be like me as a teacher. If you as a parent drop your kid off to me and say, you know what? Hey, hey, Dr. L, I got a tutor for my child. They got their own laptop at home. I downloaded all of the programs you told me to give. I make him sit down and do his homework as much as I can help him. I come to every meeting. I answer every email. I make sure he come to your class. I make sure he come to your class and he don't act up. I make sure he turn in all his assignments. At that point, you as parents should be able to say, I done gave you everything you asked of me. Now it's your job to teach him now. I'm not a teacher. I didn't go to school for teaching. That's not my profession. I work in the post office, so I know about that. It's your job to teach him. If I fail your child, at that point, when you have done everything that I've asked for you to do, you've done everything, you've been accountable to everything that I've asked of you, within measure, I should say, then that's a failure on my part as teacher because it is my job. I've been trained, I've been educated and instructed on how to teach. And then it becomes the onus on me because I have failed that child. And I'll say the same thing to these politicians, the Dems at this point. You asked us to do certain things. We did that. We gave you what you asked for. We voted. We came out in droves. We did everything you asked. And when we did that, what are you going to do now? Now, don't come back afterwards and tell me, oh, I couldn't get it done because I couldn't find a way to. No, no, nope, nope. That is your job. Your job. That'd be like me saying, oh, I couldn't guarantee your child, learn English because um, I couldn't find a way to navigate the computer technology into my lesson plans, and I had to do more. No, that doesn't work. Or if I said, oh well, I just couldn't find a way to do the Zoom meetings and stuff. That's not an answer. You have failed. And so I feel like that's what's going to end up happening to a certain degree in the eyes of a lot of the public. And that may um more so than the Republicans doing things to help them gain seats or win the House back and or the Senate back. I foresee the Democrats fumbling the ball and them doing things that make people not want to continue to vote for them. That's what I kind of see happening. I could see that happening. And that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. But I can see that happening. Hmm. Yep. I did not know we was gonna talk politics this long, which I love, y'all. Y'all know I love politics. Um, I mean, what do y'all think? I don't want to monopolize the comments, but excuse me. But certainly, right, because people are going to feel like, okay, we did all this stuff, we rallied, we got the vote out, we went out on Saturdays and knocked on people's doors and did all of this stuff to get you people in here. And when we got you in here, you ain't do nothing, and now you coming back to me with a whole bunch of excuses. That's not gonna fly. That's the wrong answer. That is the wrong answer. So I don't know, y'all. They do always play weak. Now you ain't lying about that, nappy child. These people always find a way to mess up. They always find a way to mess up. Anyway, um, but yeah, I feel like that vote today with your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene is ceremonial. Even if they do find a way to take her from the committees, you still got a whole lot of other people that are aligned with her and a lot of her cronies that are still in the house and that are way worse than her, and they're going to do some of the same things she would have done and say the same thing she would. It's not like she's going to be put out of Congress. She's not. If anything, she may go up in the estimations of the people in her constituency over down there in her district, because she's over there. Her district is aligned with her. Her district is over there with Jedediah in them, with Jedediah, Obadiah, and all the other ayahs out there. Child, a mess, a mess. Anyway, she might run for a VP underneath Josh Hawley. I could see Josh Hawley being the nominee and she being his VP. Now I could see some foolery like that. I really could. Now Marty, I could see that. And see what they'll do. They'll do it like you see oftentimes in most in most presidential races, the VP nominee a lot of times is somebody who was running but backed out early, and maybe they and a lot of times what usually happens is the person will they'll make a deal with somebody early on and say, listen, can you back down because it look like I'm gonna get this, and when I do, I'll give you the VP spot, different things like that. Oh no, don't forget about Josh Howley and Raphael Cruz, because I'm not gonna call him Ted. Your name is Raphael. Your mama named you Raphael Cruz, and I'm gonna call you Raphael Cruz, out of the great country of Canada, America's hat. Because you over here making all of these laws about immigration. Mind you, you're from America's hat, Canada. Don't go there with me, Raphael Cruz. A mess. He's a whole ass mess. A mess. He makes my balls itch. Anyway, so that was our short political. It was not short, it was about an hour. That was our political segment of today's live. I'm not gonna be on live much longer. I gotta start getting ready for work. Um, I know y'all, I'm behind the reviews. Y'all know me. Once I start getting behind, I stop care. I'd be like, well, oh well, I'm behind. I would not be doing a part two of that mess that was um Chasing Atlanta's part two of their reunion. I no, I'm not. Mm-mm. I blame myself for even fighting to go through and watch that whole fiasco over there. I can't review it. I won't. I won't. Yeah, cause um, I mean, the only good part about the reunion at this point is Q's bulge in those in that beige suit. Like that's the only good thing about the reunion. I don't want no parts of the buffoonery that was Dominique's outfit. I don't want no parts of the um the layers and layers and layers of makeup that Travis was dipped in order to get all of that crap on his face. Dear God, I don't want no parts of the Venetian gardens that Troy had in his suit print. I don't want no parts of whatever that cape thing was that Lauren had. I don't want no parts of Big Bird's vomit that was all over Cameron. I don't want no parts of none of these whores. None of it. I don't want no parts of freaking Wayne the Pain's blue pubic hair that he probably dyed blue to match his blue outfit. Dear God, a mess. Rico was auditioning to be a part of the Three Kings. One of the Three Kings. He had frankincense. He didn't have gold or myrrh. He had frankincense that he was bringing over this baby Jesus down there to the manger. Hmm He's one of the Three Kings. Yeah, he had the frankincense. If you need him, that's what he needed. Yeah, that's that. That if you didn't know, Lord, just a mess. Just a damn mess. I don't want no parts of whatever the fuck is going on with Iyanla Van Zamp's neck and her neckline. Urgh. Giselle Bryant's neckline. Urgh. Her aging process and lack of makeup, you know, on her neck. A mess. Just a mess. Now, I will say, I thought Lauren's little performance was pretty good. She had a good performance. I saw it. I said, oh, okay, she might have spent a little bit of change. Maybe the Chinese people gave her a little down payment on her little $5 million deal. I'm a big liar deal, whatever. Her COVID deal that she made down there while she brought her pink Lamborghini just to race with China and brought the race to China just to race in China, all of that shit. A mess. Want no parts of Oliver's gray hairs. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. A mess. Just a mess. And Now, the only other good part is they were able to get through the reunion and nobody got beat down. Nobody was fighting. This, that, and the third. But at this point, half the cast is irrelevant. They need to take the whole cast off. The only people who should remain is I'm glad Q and Lauren are leaving. They can go. Cameron can go. I love Cameron to death. I love Cameron can go and hit me up in my DMs and we can go spoon in bed together. Rico can go. Rico can go. Travis can go. Now that's more than half the cast I've mentioned right there. That's more than half the cast. They just need to do a whole new cast. Why? Because these people are not adding to this. Their storylines are stupid. They're not adding to what people want to see. As much as I hate Dominique, I watched this show just to see Dominique and what he's gonna wear and the clownery that he's gonna roll out there so I can get me a new thumbnail. So I'm never gonna want Dominique off because I just want to see what clown I expect for him to be coming on next season fully garbed with dog costumes and hair that he picked up off his floor from cutting dog hair all day. I guarantee he's gonna have an outfit next season where it has dog hair all over it from some dog he cut. I'm telling you. Um, um, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, Rico was halfway on the show anyway. He really didn't have a storyline at all. They tried. I thought they was going to try to do a storyline with his mama or something like that, but he probably got to the point where he said, "I don't really want to discuss this on camera. It's too much for me." And said, "I'm not." So he ain't had no storyline. Only reason I say keep Troy is because you need a bone carrier, and Troy and Dominique fill that position of bone character, a bone carrier. Excuse me. Um, Oliver is mess, so they're not going to get rid of Oliver. All the people see it for Oliver. And especially if Oliver is going to be on WeTV with Madison, then that's going to mean more eyes are going to be on the show. So they would be stupid to get rid of Oliver at this point. Kendra, you need Kendra and Wayne the Pain because you're not going to have Kendra without Wayne the Pain, first of all. And Kendra is more drama, and they like that kind of drama. But I think that with the immense gay population in the city of Atlanta, I mean, there's a whole lot of other people. I mean, they can get some of them people from down there to G status or whatever, because we know that show ain't doing nothing. So Travis is not adding nothing. Travis don't add nothing but bad fashions and fat. That's all he add. Bad fashions and fat and makeup. A mess. Oh yeah, and the mascara that's used to color in his uh, face or whatever. Now, Marty, I saw a real ratchet show last night. I'm deciding on whether or not I'm going to review it. If you see a review, look for it. If you don't see a review, don't look for it. But I'm deciding about a show I watched last night. I did write notes. Um, Real Life Philanthropy is another one of the Atlanta shows. It's kind of real ratchet. It's real like where these people are supposed to be philanthropists and having community-based organizations, as I'm putting up my quotation fingers, and 501c3s and all of this stuff. Anyway, which is another just excuse for them to have a bunch of messy queens on Al Gore's good internet doing what they always do. I'm just saying. It's called, I think it's called Real Life Philanthropy. No, Real Life and Philanthropy is what it's called. Yes. Real Life and Philanthropy. That's what it's called. Anyway, so I checked out the first episode. I might like I said, I wrote notes on it, so that means that I might do a review. We'll see. Because if I write notes, I usually will do a review. So, Nappy Child, we did talk about before I got off, before I went on my hiatus. We talked about Cicely Tyson. We talked about Cicely Tyson, Hank Aaron, John Chaney, Larry King. I remember we talked about all of them before we got off. All of them, all of those people passed in the last 2 weeks or so. And Hank Aaron, Cicely Tyson, John Chaney, Larry King, all of them passed, and definitely shots out to them. Prayers to their family, condolences to their families. All of them giants in their respective fields, giants in their respective fields. So um, they, and especially with people who of their ilk, who have the legacy that they have, and are of that age. I don't think it's a reason to be sad, because when you get to that age and you have the resume and the legacy that these people have, I think it's more of a celebration, simply because, and I don't think it's a time to be sad, because they've lived a full life. And it's different when somebody gets cut off young and you go, "Oh my God." Um it wasn't on this live, Nappy Child. I think it was on another live before I went on sabbatical. But they lived a full life, and I think that they deserve to be celebrated, and so forth. So we definitely celebrate them, and it doesn't make us sad. It kind of makes you take pause when you hear about it. You go, "Oh, they're going," and you go, "Wow, they're going." And that's another piece of the puzzle in terms of our tapestry and ancestry and history, and so forth. So yeah, shouts out and kudos to all of them, and all of the, and you may have your own loved ones in your respective families who may have passed away, and shouts out to them and condolences to you and your family as well. I know I have had death in my family as well, so due to COVID. So yeah. For my members, at some point this weekend, we'll have a members only live, probably either tomorrow or Saturday, because I'm off tomorrow, and Saturday I'm off as well. Really B and I also will probably do a teacher project 2.0 during that time, and yeah, so forth. Let's get some shondos in the chat before I get off of here. Get some shondos in the chat. Not Greenbrier Flea Market. Child, that's USA Flea Market down in Miami, honey. Even though they tore down USA Flea Market in Miami, they tore it down. Oh, so sad. That's a USA Flea Market outfit, honey. A mess. Mm. It was so good to come back to you all today, to come back and say, "Hey, let me reintroduce myself." Good seeing y'all. Y'all know I love talking about politics. We went off on a little tangent today. I got some more politics stuff to talk that I'm going through my notes about of course I'm going to the Orange Blossom Classic. Are you kidding me, little baby? I have already procured reservations for my tickets. Please. As a former member of the Marching 100, we get, Marching 100, our Marching 100 Alumni Association, we get a whole block of tickets and they'll sell them to us. And we usually try and get a block close to the band and stuff like that. So, of course, I'm going to be there. FAMU, Jackson State, and mind you, both of their band directors went to Miami Northwestern and graduated from Northwestern. So both of them are from Miami. The band director of Jackson State actually graduated a year after me. He played clarinet at Northwestern, and I remember um he yeah, he went to Northwestern, and the band director of the March 100 right now um is much older than him. But he was my high school band director at in Miami. But both of them went to Miami Northwestern. But mhm, my old band director from high school was in FAMU's marching band. Oh, okay. What high school? What city you in, Marty? Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. I'll have my mask on, but it's gonna be a good game. I'm looking forward to that. Listen, it's gonna be. I don't know how much social distancing is gonna be happening at said game, but 'cause I know your people, your black people at these HBCU. Oh, Detroit. Hmm. What school? I know a lot of people from Southfield, Marty. I got a lot of friends from that went to Southfield High School. I've got some friends who went to Cass Tech in Detroit as well. I know those two high schools definitely. Cass Tech in Detroit and Southfield, which is a suburb, I think, um, of Detroit. But I know Cass Tech is in. I think I know another school in Detroit that I can't remember right now. Anyway, um, yeah, I would have had the shot by then. Oh, your daughter going to Cass Tech next year? Okay. Yeah, I got some friends who graduated from Cass Tech. Anyway, oh, you went to Murray, right? I think that's the other one I was thinking about. Murray, right? Yep. I think that's the other one that I was thinking about in Detroit. Couldn't think of it. And then when you said it immediately um rung a bell for me. Charlotte, I know some people some everywhere, honey. You see how I called them names. I'm from Miami. I ain't from nowhere near um Detroit, but I do know those people who went to school with me that came from that area. Anyway, y'all, I have a good time with y'all today. I had such a good time with y'all today. Um, it, like I've been saying, my lives are leaning more political, and so you will start to get much more politics out of me. Um, because that's just what I do. And I know we enjoy it, and I enjoy it, and you enjoy it, and we enjoy talking about it. So we're gonna do more of that, and yeah, I hope that you all enjoy. And with that, let me say, as only I can say, thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you all for everything that you have done for me. All of the hey Tampa girl. Thank you for anything that you have given me, sent me. Y'all know I always say I love y'all. I love on y'all. And it's been real. It's been great. We'll be live. Members, I'm telling y'all, we're gonna be live. We're gonna have members on the live so I can tell y'all everything that's been going on. Either sometime between tomorrow or Saturday. Y'all know we have Silly Saturday coming on Saturday. I might go live tomorrow. Depends on what I got, because I got people coming in town. So depending on how busy I am, I might go live tomorrow. Um, come on with the Black Shondo. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time. Let me click the button. Where's the button? Oh, there's the button. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.